MMP fam, I want y'all to look at this replay of this incident. Look at the bench. When she goes over to her coach. I don't know what the coach said to her, but whatever was said, it ended in a jovial moment, and it was kind of disturbing, considering what had just taken place. What had just taken place. By all accounts, this was an assault. This was an assault by Dearicka Hamby on this young lady. Now, Dearicka Hamby is going to say later she was justified in her actions by taking the actions that she did because the girl was trying to block her out and she caught her in the midsection, and that is what upset her. Come on, Dearicka, really? She's blocking you out. You get punched in the midsection, or at least according to you. And then you're going to turn around and hit the girl in the face as a retaliation for that. Here you have a basketball play, and then you have a non-basketball play. Look at the way this was adjudicated after they watched the film. You know what the tragedy in this was? This whole incident was not obviously the young lady, Reagan Beer, getting hit. That was an assault, by all accounts. None of the refs saw it. I want you to watch this replay. They're going to start going up the floor, and if this young lady had not fell down and stayed on the floor, they would have continued play. You have three officials on the floor in a triangulation perspective, and not saying you're not going to you're not going to catch everything, but you have three officials on the floor, and nobody saw this. Nobody saw this. Nobody. This is what's wrong with this league. They talk about no space for hate. Damn sure ain't no love there. They talk about protecting their players. That's the primary job of an official. When you see the stripes, whether you agree with all the calls they make or not, their primary objective for being on that floor is player safety. For no other reason are they out there. Obviously, they are out there to keep the game under control. And you get players out of the game who conduct themselves like this, because that wasn't basketball. And you see in the replay, whatever her and her coach exchanged, she laughed. She thought it was funny, and apparently her coach did too. But when she realized the camera was on her, she tightened up that smile a little bit and then tried to act like, it wasn't nothing wrong. She knew she was wrong for that. She knew she was wrong for that. Notice, and I haven't turned on the TV that today, but has it been on the news? Has anybody seen this on the news? Has the news covered this? I guarantee you, if the script was flipped and this were the other way around, CNN would be wall to wall coverage. They would be showing this in slow motion up to the blow. If this was a predominantly white league and Reagan Beard had hit Dearicka Hamby like that, this would be wall to wall coverage. They would have the mic in that girl's face asking her, what the hell were you thinking? And why isn't this an assault? This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. The WNBA, you all got your own set of issues. Now this is spilling out onto the floor. And here's the overarching question. Is this becoming a pattern of behavior towards certain players on these teams? We see who the protected species are. But what about the other players in this league? Not saying that stuff is not going to happen that's going to push a player's buttons. Not talking about that. We're talking about assault. We just saw recently, over a week ago, Dejanay Carrington and Sophie Cunningham. Are these political attacks? The league keeps trying to say that they want to keep politics out of this and let's just talk basketball. But it seems like these could be politically motivated. Sophie Cunningham want to stand up for young girls. Reagan Beers come out by herself, and stands up for the national anthem before each game. By herself. Her teammates are in the locker room pouting or whatever, basking in the glory of their their un-Americanness and their ingreatness of the country that they live in. Can you imagine that? Ask Brittany Griner, would she go back to Russia in a heartbeat? If she could play in Russia for millions of dollars, would she go back and play over there versus here in America? Ask her. Ask her about that. All of you wannabe non-Americans, go live where you think you want to be. First of all, go see if you can become a citizen overnight. Go see if you can, become a citizen overnight. 2, start sucking up on their social resources instantaneously just because you're within the borders. You all have got this so twisted here in the United States of America. You don't even know what you should appreciate. Go wherever you think is better and find out. Now, back to this issue. Let's keep this moving.
First and foremost, it's absolutely unacceptable. I think as a league, as a whole, there's been so much more toxicity, racism, homophobia, straight out like nonsense, hate nonsense, and it is absolutely unacceptable. Most of this coming from the online community. Most of this, in my heart of hearts, I believe, not coming from WNBA fans. Most of this, in my heart of hearts, I believe, not coming from WNBA fans. Indiana Fever fans. I believe that this is people who are using our league, using our players to further divisive agendas. It's not acceptable. Yes, we have to continue to protect our players.
Well, what say you, MMP fan? It seems like there's only one protected species in the W. And I think Kathy Engelbert would agree. In an unprecedented interview leaked into the mainstream, Kathy Engelbert has made a statement, and you're not going to believe what she has to say. I need you to brace yourself. Trigger warning. This is an AI parody.
I'd like to briefly address a couple of issues, starting with the flagrant 2 and ejection of Dejanay Carrington against Sophie Cunningham and subsequent social media posting in which Dejana called it white privilege and tagged the Indiana Fever. In accordance with core values of the league, which include justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion, we will be immediately launching another investigation into the Indiana Fever and the referees in question. If clotheslining and bloodying the face of another player resulting in an ejection is indeed proven to be white privilege, we will take swift and decisive action. Our focus will continue to be protecting solely non-white players from hate, abuse, and demonization. The league has also been made aware of an incident July 28th in which a Seattle Storm fan spit in the face of an Indiana Fever fan. We will also be launching a thorough investigation into that incident, and we can only assume the Fever fan said something racist, and if that is the case, they will be banned for life. We are committed to stopping the hate and keeping this league a safe space now and in the future.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe. You all have a blessed day. I'm out.